Hello students, in this video I'm going to discuss about the remaining programs of JavaScript. So in the previous two videos I have discussed about what is actually JavaScript, where it is used, what is its purpose, and also I have discussed about few programs regarding programs of your lab in which I have demonstrated how to declare the variables, how to create a function. As you know, the function is actually the set of statements which are aimed to perform a specific task. So after how to use the function, how to call a function uh, the, from the HTML, from how to call a function of JavaScript from the HTML code, or how actually we can write a function within the HTML and outside the HTML file, and how to access it. And also I discussed about how to use the if construct, the switch case construct, and also the while, do while. Okay, so in this video, I would like to start with a discussion of how to actually use the for loop. So for loop, actually, you know that for loop is actually same as if you have used in the C language, that it is a looping construct where the set of statements are repeated for a certain number of times until the condition is satisfied here. So the same syntax, the for initialization, condition checking, and the evaluation parameters actually. So here it is. Yeah. So here it is. If you can observe that you have a syntax for the for loop where the initialization, testing the condition, and the iteration statement there. The statements to be executed are placed within the braces. If the means, and those statements are executed if the condition is true. Now, what I would like to demonstrate you here in the program is to print the all the palindrome numbers. You know what is a palindrome number? A palindrome is a number means which where we can, if you reverse the number, you have to get the same number. So here I'm going to write the JavaScript function here. So if you observe, so this is what is the function which I have written. Now here it is the same as the script, the code which is actually we write uh, in C language also. The same type of logic we are using here. Okay, so now here we are declaring the variables I, R, P, T, and I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to n, and I plus plus. Then is the value which you are going to pass from the HTML file here. So t is initialized to 1 here. For t is equals to 0, t greater than 0, and t is equals to parse int of t I t by 10. What is this parse int here? Actually, when you use the division operator here, the quotient operator, it is going to return you the mm, mm, double values there. So instead of accessing getting the double value, if you want to convert the output in the form of an integer, then you have to go with parse int. The parse int is actually going to convert into the integer form. Okay, the double form to an integer form. I hope you might have come across with this parse int method in Java also, where it is going to convert the one data type into the integer set. Mostly you might have used it in case of converting the strings to the integer set. So if p is equals to 0, t greater than 0, and t is equals to parse int of t by 10, the rest of the logic is same. You are getting the remainder and you are going to convert the number, reversing the number. So once you have reversed the number, you are checking the reverse number is equal to the number itself. So if it is true, then it is going to return the value. So this logic actually we have developed, which in C language. Of course, we have written there using the while there, and now I have specially written it in using the for loop. And now here comes your HTML code. So we are saying in the body that on load you have to execute this palindrome is equal to palindrome of 500. So this is what is the n value which you are passing here. This is what is the n value which you are passing. So this n value is passed to the function here, and then the palindromes between 1 to 500 between 500 are displayed here. So if you execute this program, so simply you execute this program, see here. Oh, yeah, here it is. If you execute it, now you can observe all the cardinals which are between 1 and 500, including those 1 and 500 there. So, okay, so that's about the for loop program there. So what the base programs are meant for, the last few programs which I discussed is about how actually we are going to use these functions. So sorry, how we are going to use this constructs here. Either the selection constructs, if, switch case, or the looping construct, while, do while, and for. So the next program will discuss about the objects, the standard predefined objects which are used in JavaScript. So JavaScript is actually an object-oriented programming language. Okay, so you know what is object-oriented programming language? You might have learned in the Java there. So it is object-oriented programming language. It is actually the process of defining something in terms of entities or objects. So it is a method where you are going to analyze and design an application in terms of entities or objects. Everything is considered as an object here. So you know the features of object-oriented programming. It has an encapsulation. Okay, where the capability to store the related information, whether the data or methods together into an entity called into a thing called an object. Means you are going to bind the code and data together. The data and the code which operates on the data into a single unit called as an object. Then we have the aggregations where one object is stored in another object, inheritance and polymorphism. So I'm not much going into the details of object-oriented programming because you might have an idea about this object-oriented programming. So if you want, you can refer to the other means. You can refer the notes for what is object-oriented programming. Here, JavaScript comes with the predefined classes. Predefined classes which are used, which for which we can create objects here, and then using those objects we can access the methods which are defined by the uh, standard classes there. So we have one of the class which I'm discussing here. There are more number of classes there. You can again refer and you can access the tutorials so as to gain more knowledge about this. So we have a date class. So we can create an object of the date class using the new date here. So which actually is used to access the current date. So either you can set your own date or you can access the current system. So if you are having the syntax, if you observe the syntax here, okay. So when there is no parameters, the date construct creates an object, the current date and time it is created. So when you are giving the milliseconds here, then the milliseconds, it is taken the internal numeric representation of date in milliseconds, return the get time method. For example, if the argument is 5000, creates a date that represents 5 seconds past midnight of 1/1/1970. Means the date is taken from 1/1/1970, and from there, whatever the milliseconds which are giving, according to that, it is going to uh, um, uh, uh, calculate the date and time there. And later, the date string, you can give the directly the date string where you can give the year, the month, the date, hour, minutes, and seconds, and milliseconds. Okay, so you have the certain methods in that there you can use to get the current date, get date, get day, get full year, get hours, get milliseconds, which are actually used for accessing the dating. So if you observe the program which I have discussed here, see here in this program what I am doing. So in this program, uh, see here, the JavaScript, actually I'm writing the JavaScript here. Okay, and I'm creating a date object. Variable dt is equals to new date. Now dt is an object of the class new date. Now I'm going to create uh, dy a new array. Now again, array is also a standard class here. So where new day array will create an object of the array class. So where you are going to give some predefined values in that. So the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So this Sunday will take the indexing. It starts with 0 in this array here. And also I'm going to create another array which is taking the names of all the months of months. Now document dot write dt. So if you're saying dt there, now the current date and time of um, the current date and time which is from this machine will be shown. So if you execute it, just we'll go one by one here and see how the output is obtained. So here it is. Today, as I'm recording the class on Wednesday, October 28, 2020, at 11 hours 22 minutes 40 seconds, Greenwich Mean Time, Standard Indian Time. So if you refresh it, see the time will be changing. See the number of seconds are changing if you observe. So the current date and time is taken here. So that is a standard form of display. Okay, so now again if you're writing document.write get date. So when you're saying get date, it is going to get the current date, and get month. So it is going to get the current month, and get full year. Get year means last two digits are obtained. Get full year means the complete year is obtained. So that's the reason why for this get date. So uh, if you observe the output here, so today is 28th, get month 10, and the year is 2020. 2020. So get month, actually again the indexing starts with 0 actually. So that's the reason why. So get month, I'm going to add it to 1 to get 10 there. Okay, next, get full year, right? So the different methods which are placed here, we are using here. Get month returns a month according to the local time. Okay, next, get today is get dy of. So dy is an array of get day. Get day means today. What is today? So get day, dy of get day. Day means today is Wednesday. So because it is Wednesday, d of Wednesday. So we will get here 3 actually. The indexing starts with 0. That's the reason why I'm going to get 3 there. dy of 3. What is dy of 3 here? dy of 3 is Wednesday. So Wednesday is displayed here. The Wednesday is today is Wednesday. And next, get month. Month is mn of di of get month. Get month means it is going to get the value 9 here, because again the indexing starts with 0 there. So that's the reason why get month will return. The dt dot get month will return 9. So in the mn of 9 we have October. So that's the reason why. So the October is displayed here. And finally, if you want to get the time here, so we are saying get hours. If we get the hours, 11 hours, get minutes, the 25 minutes, and get seconds, the current. So it is just run there. So if you are seeing this here, so if you execute it, the current time is actually displayed. So that's how we can use the object. And of course, you have a number of other objects also, other classes and objects which are available. So you can go for the number class, the Boolean strings, arrays, math class. Okay, you can use them as according. Okay, next is the next program will demonstrate you how to actually access a form the contents of a form and how to use them in the JavaScript. So I told you in HTML also we have certain form elements which can be used to create the forms. We have the text boxes, we have the check boxes, radio buttons, drop-down list, etc. And also the buttons which can be pressed. And so here mainly I'm demonstrating you how to access the current the form elements which are being placed here. Now here see I will parallelly show you I will first okay let me just execute the program and then I will show you what actually we have done. So here see I'm going to give two numbers here, so I'm giving 25 and the next number is 6, so 20, and if I say multiply them, if I click on this hyperlink there, so I'm going to get an alert box where the product of 25 and 6 is displayed as 150. Okay, the product of two numbers is actually displayed. So how we are going to get this? So here, so see, variable number is equals to document dot mul.n1.value. So from where we are going to get this? So in the same, see here, I'm going to the body section of the HTML, I'm going to create a form. If you observe this particular code here, so I'm first of all writing number 1. So the number 1, see here it is the number 1, the label which I'm reading. Next, beside that label, I'm saying input. Input type is text type. So that's the reason why we are going to get a text box. And what name you are giving it to the text box? You are giving the name to the text box as N1. Okay, N1. Likewise, I'm going to create another label number 2, a text box here, and I have named it N2. So this name, I am calling the text box as N1 and N2 here. So that N1 is actually used here. So I'm saying in this document, okay, you have a form called MUL, and in that you are having a text box N1, and what is the value which is given in the text box? So that value which is given 25 is taken and it is stored in this num1. Okay, so the same way num2. So num2 value in the document, in this document we are having a form called MUL, and in that we are having a text box called N2, and what is the value given here? That is stored in N2. Now when this function is going to execute, so I'm going to create an anchor with an anchor tag. I'm going to create a reference. The reference is hash in the sense the same document. So earlier I told you hash reference means where you what actually you have to execute. So if you observe the previous program in the HTML, I'll just show you once. Okay, let me show you once. Previously, we have done some HTML stuff there in the HTML. So I have discussed about the hyperlink. So if you observe the code here, so in the hyperlink, actually, you are going to specify the reference set. What is the reference? So where, which page has to be open, which page it has to access. So when you are saying hash, okay, when you are saying hash, okay. So when you are actually means here you are in the H reference, you are specifying what is the reference page which it has to access. So this actually stuff we have already discussed. Now here you can say that hash reference hash on click you are saying hash in the sense the same page it is reference. On click means when you are clicking on that reference, what it has to do, it has to invoke the function product, okay, which is returning false, which it doesn't return anything. and what text it has to display there, multiply them. So on the multiply then, when you click there, it has to call the product there and it is going to execute, right? So that's the reason why. So when you're saying